Yo guys, it's the Crylo Ren channel, back at it once again. Congru here, and Zedos gangs. You know who my favorite Zedo gangs guy, Sacha Allari. How's it going, man?
Hey, what's up, guys? I'm back to chat some Star Wars.
And yeah, there's a lot of Star Wars to get. Well, not a lot of Star Wars. Obviously, it's Obi Wan mostly, but Obi Wan the trailer. Obviously, it's been a couple of weeks now, right? It's been out. Didn't do anything like close to home because I just had to like sink in. Like I needed that trailer just to like watch it multiple times and just be like, okay, like they actually did the Jewel of Fates background music, Anakin's dark deeds. They had Inquisitors and all that stuff. But yeah, just what did you think just about the trailer itself in general?
Trailer itself was dope, man. I really liked the trailer. To be quite honest, I was most impressed by that trailer, man. I was like impressive, most impressive, man. That trailer was a lot better than I thought it would be. The fact they brought Inquisitors in there made me go, okay, they're pulling from lore and stuff.
Yeah.
So, which I'm sure we're going to explore more in this
Oh yeah,
podcast.
of course.
But yeah, I like personally for me, I liked what I saw. I know some people on the interwebs had some complaints with visual aesthetics, which I'm sure also we'll get into.
Yeah.
But to be honest, that didn't bother me in terms of the trailer. I was just shocked that they had motherfucker in there, man. Can I
Yeah.
swear? I was just like, God damn. I was just like, damn, he's in here. What the hell? Who's this Inquisitor? And then I'm like, oh, and I'm counting them and I'm looking at them. I'm like, is that the seventh sister? Is that, you know what I mean? Because you can't
Yeah.
see the other female
Yeah,
properly. So I'm
exactly.
like, come on, man. Let's have some Sarah Michelle Gellar up in here, man. Some Buffy the Vampire Slayer shit. But they didn't show us that. But they had what's his name? Is it the second brother or the
The
seventh
second brother,
brother?
I think it's the second brother.
Yeah, him. When they showed him, I was like, oh, I was impressed with him. And then when I heard he's my boy Hans from Fast and Furious, I was like, get the fuck out of here. That's not Hans. That's not Hans. Justice for Hans. Which we didn't get justice for Vin Diesel. Like you
We
brought him
didn't.
back from the dead, and like you kind of fucked that shit up. But that's another podcast, a whole other podcast. But yeah, I'm digging this trailer and the fact that they use Jewel of the Fates and what Battle of the Stars? Is it
Yeah,
Battle
Battle
of the
of the
Stars?
Stars, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
At the end, I was like, yeah, John Williams themes. It's all about them John Williams themes
you
and the
can't lose with
correct
those
ones.
themes.
And
Yeah,
it was like, you know what it was? It felt like a labor of love to the prequel era. And that's something I don't think any Star Wars live action project has really kind of embraced. And just having those tunes and like having Ewan McGregor in there and showing like what's his name, the guy that plays Uncle Owen.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm in. I'm all over this shit. But yeah, over to you, man. What's
yeah.
next?
Any time that they play Jewel of Fates is just gonna win any trailer for me. Like you could put Jewel of Fates on a porn trailer, and that would instantly be my best like trailer. Like it's Jewel of Fates is just one of the best BGMs to like any movie ever. Um, but yeah, so like Inquisitors, like what did we actually think about the Inquisitors? Because like I'm gonna like honestly like I did think that the black girl, which like maybe it's the seventh sister or something, I did think she was a bit too clean cut. Because like and this is like mainly coming from Fallen Order, right, where we know for a fact that the Inquisitors are all tortured into being
Yeah,
dark-sided. Like I wouldn't call them Sith. I would just be call them dark-sided
Dark
users.
Jedi.
Yeah, Dark
Yeah,
Jedi. Yeah,
just Dark Jedi. Just that they're just like young Dark Jedi. That like I don't know, man. Maybe some are tortured. Maybe some go willingly. Yeah, I mean, I'm still waiting for Barasofi to show up, man. Okay, I'm
Mate, Barra
telling you,
Sophie can
bro.
have her whole
Barasofi,
episode
she
now.
needs she
Jesus.
needs her day, man. When is that bitch gonna show up? I tell you what, when I saw that little Easter egg in fucking Boba Fett with her insignia, when you have the Baby Yoda flashback with the Order 66,
Hey,
I was like, Dave, I was like, Uncle Dave, I see what you did, you bitch. I see what you did, you bitch. And when Ahsoka, well, I guarantee you, Barris is going to show up in Ahsoka. Come on, man.
oh yeah, I
You don't
think
throw
it's
that. You don't throw that because that. You know what? That is the rematch of the century for the Clone Wars fans, man.
yeah, no, yeah, I think that's definitely coming up. The Insignia is probably the main confirmation that Barriss
Yeah,
is definitely like on the
coming
horizon.
somewhere. She's
Yeah,
somewhere. She's somewhere.
for sure. It would actually be interesting if Barriss actually showed up as an Inquisitor.
Yeah,
That would be
because
really
that's a
interesting.
good. That would be a setup that she
Mm.
shows up as an Inquisitor. But here's the thing, man. They've changed their minds on Inquisitors. I swear it was originally 7, and then they wasted loads of them in Rebels. Okay, because Maul just dealt with them,
Yeah,
and then what was it in Fallen Order? They had the ninth sister, right?
yeah, they
Or
did.
the
Yeah,
ninth, but yeah, and I was like, hang on, doesn't that break? Okay, but it's Disney Schmizney, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, maybe there's 15 of them, I don't care, but you know what I mean?
Disney
Just as long
Disney
as
like retconning facts.
yeah,
You know.
they like retconning themselves, man. So they're like, oh, look, here's the thing. When it came to the old canon, at first I was like, okay, that's a bit. I can see why it's a kick in the nuts, but at the same time, it's not the first time they've done that. They did that with the Marvel Star Wars back in the 80s. They just threw that all in the wind, and then they started fresh with Heir to the Empire, and then they kept it consistent with the Dark Horse comics. But all those old like Marvel tales, they're like miscellaneous kind of thing,
Yeah,
and some of them got brought back into Dark Horse kind of mold, made
yeah,
canon and stuff. But I think they selected, they went through a selection process kind of thing. But like, not everything made the cut. Like that fucking Green Rabbit, whatever his name was, didn't make the cut. Thank fuck. But like, you know what I mean? It was never the first time they'd done that. So I was just like, okay, the filmmakers are clearly trying to make their own shit, and they
yeah,
did. But but they're trying to, and that's fine. I totally understand that. But like, give us good shit. And the problem is with Disney with their shit. It's like one, it started off strong. It started off strong in the comics and stuff like that. But then it kind of It's kind of meandering, and we're getting stuff where stuff isn't consistent to what they set out from this novel to this
yeah.
thing to that thing. And I haven't read enough of it. I'm just seeing what other people are writing, because I'm just more concentrated on the films and the TV shows, to be honest. But
Well, I have started reading the High Republic stuff.
what is that? What is that
Light of
like?
the
What is
Jedi.
that like?
Honestly, like it's weird because the writing style, like, so I'm on like the first 100 pages, like, and
Hmm.
and like, of some people say wait till the end. The Light of the Jedi is like 300 pages, right? But I'm
Yeah.
already 16 chapters in, and I'm only
Oh, okay.
100 pages in. That means like essentially like every 4 pages there's a new chapter, and it's like I know why they're like in the context of the book. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but in the context of the book, I know why that it's like really fast paced, but there's so many like different Jedi in the Jedi Order that you're like following. There's like so many other characters that other than the Jedi Order, like soldiers and stuff that you're following as well. It's just
Yeah.
there's too many characters to focus on that I'm finding at the minute. Maybe after like halfway into the book, which would be 50 pages since it's like a 300 book, but like maybe when I get halfway in it will change because yeah, I know like the event that's happening is obviously a really fast paced and like they're trying to like convey that it's like a real fast paced event and like lives are on the line and stuff like that. But for
Right.
me it just feels like there's like too many focus on like too many different Jedi of this order and stuff like that. So yeah, for me at the minute, I'm still on the fence with the novelizations and stuff like that, and
Okay. I've
yeah,
not read the new stuff, but let me know what that's like, man, because I'm interested to hear people's opinions on it. Well, fuck it, I might read it myself eventually, but nothing's compelled me to. But
yeah,
we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see, we'll see what it is eventually. But back to Kenobi,
yeah. So here's a
I mean,
question about the
like,
Inquisitors, right?
yeah,
So
sure.
obviously we've seen Inquisitors in now 3 different things. So we've seen it in the Star Wars
Rebels, Fallen
Rebels,
Order,
Fallen Order, and now this Obi Wan trailer.
yeah.
Do you think that, like, because a part of me thinks that the Rebels Inquisitors are quite different to the Inquisitors in Fallen Order. Like, obviously, in a game, you can do more brutal things, and obviously, Fallen
Mm,
Order was like a 15 plus rated game, I believe, like Peggy rated 15. So yeah,
yeah.
like it just seems like the Inquisitors were way more brutalized in Fallen Order, for instance, than they were maybe that, or implied to in Rebels, which was mainly geared for kids. So do you think
Yeah.
do you think Disney's going to take one of those types, or they're going to might make their own thing for Kenobi?
Well, we'll have to see. I'm not. Here's the thing. It's all. I don't care about how brutal or bloody something is. It's all about story. As long as the story's good and it fits the characters, that would rule over all. To be quite honest,
Yeah.
that may sound like a cop out answer, but at the same time, you've got to understand. Original Star Wars, except for Revenge of the Sith, and Attack of the Clones, were all U-rated movies.
Yeah.
They're all U's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And those OG films, fucking violent. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For you, you know what I mean? They were all U's. You had limbs getting cut off, and you know what I mean? Like all kinds of stuff. So like they were U-rated stuff. Granted, in the 80s, things were a bit more hardcore to how they are now, but you know what I mean? Star Wars has kind of lived in that 12A kind of category now, so they can push to stuff. I mean, look at the stuff we got in Mando. The opening shot, guys sliced in half by through a door. So that stuff. That's down to the filmmakers and what they want to do with it. I mean, it can't be too violent because it's Star Wars. Star Wars has never been too violent. Even Revenge of the Sith, even though man got burnt the hell up, that was coming. That was something you cannot, But if you've seen stuff like Passion of the Christ, that was tame. Do you know what I mean?
Sure,
so it's like, how R-rated? How much R-rated do you really want it? I mean, it should, as long as the story is good, then fine. Then I'm fine with that. In terms of Inquisitors, I never thought we'd get them live action. I never thought we'd get them in this. And if you were to ask me what I wanted from an Obi Wan thing, I would have said I would have liked to have seen an Inquisitor, because that's the only reason that I see there being a threat to Luke and coming to Tatooine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which would drive him away. But we can go into what I thought it should be to what it is and stuff later. But yeah,
for sure. It's a good segue actually into like the next thing, which is like, obviously you mentioned episode 3. Episode 3 had Utapau, which was that city that Obi-Wan went to when he killed Grievous, and we saw what they call Powans, which is like the residents of like the inhabitants of the Utapau city, right? So like, obviously I'll show it on the screen, but like the makeup that they had in that was like really, really good, with the lines in the face and everything like that. So the Grand Inquisitor, right? He's supposed to be a Powan. Like, did you get that from the trailer that he was a Powan? Because he looks quite different from the Utapau's that we saw in episode 3 for some reason.
So, right. I mean, I didn't think they were the same species myself. I never thought of that, because they had, who's the actor that's in Matrix and Mad Max, and
is he the one that plays that guy?
Yeah, the main guy that speaks to Obi-Wan. He's like the train driver in Matrix. Not Reloaded. Revelations. He's the train driver, the big tall guy, and he's in Mad Max. He's one of the bad guys in Mad Max. But yeah, he what do you call it? Yeah, I didn't think they were the same race, to be quite honest. I never once thought of that, mainly because of their teeth. You know what I mean? I guess something could be said to the way that they got a white like skin and like the eyes maybe, but I never thought they were the same way. So I never thought of that. But mind you, I don't recall prequel, like I knew what Utapau was. I didn't know the race of those characters, if that makes sense. I'm not that well versed in the prequel stuff, other than what I remember from Clone Wars cartoon and the movies. I never read the books or the comic books of that era kind of thing. I'm more the OG stuff from the 90s and just the early 2000. Like when I say early 2000, literally 99, 2000, and then I was probably down a pub somewhere. But I'm just saying it as it is, man. And there's a lot of lore. I missed a lot of lore with the prequel stuff from Dark Horse, man.
I mean, they did have a lot of. Lord.
Yeah. What are they saying online? Obviously, they think the guy's too fat to be the Grand Inquisitor,
And
but
his head,
and his head,
the
yeah.
big thing is his head is too small.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's also the argument before that, people getting upset that it wasn't Jason Isaacs, and Jason Isaacs looks nothing like the Grand
Yeah,
Inquisitor,
exactly. Yeah.
even though he did the voice. Now, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Okay, that guy sounded like him, so that was fine. Sure, visually he didn't look like him, and then people are like, "Oh, CGI. They could have like CGI'd him." It's like, come on, man. They're using CGI for other shit. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? How much budget do you think they've actually got? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Disney at the moment are overspending on their shows at the moment. So yeah, I mean, you can't cry. You got something's got to give somewhere, and unfortunately, just say he went on fucking the Slim Fast diet or whatever the fuck they have there. Because it's still like 5 years before Rebels. So you know what I mean? Like man could have got in there quick. Vader probably got pissed with him and sent him to the gym. I don't know, man, but I don't want to see that as part of the story, and don't make it a thing. But do you know what I mean? That's my headcanon for it. You know what I mean? I'm not too bothered. All I am bothered about is it good? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
End of the day, that's all I care about. I'll agree visually, but then if I was to take the look of every character in fucking the Star Wars cartoons and put them in real life, then I could say that Christopher Lee looks nothing like Count Dooku. Proper picture of Count Dooku, please, because Count Dooku in the Clone Wars, I don't know what that ain't human. Could you tell me? Look at him. Look at that picture of him, man. He looks like he's got a beak with his nose.
Yeah.
All kind of like you know what I mean? It's stylized because it's animation. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, when you've got like a brand new character, you want to see it like proper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's what we fans want. Yeah, I mean that's what we want. And then the other argument is when I went Comic-Con, I saw someone cosplayed better than that. And you know what? Good argument. Good argument.
It
I mean,
is, yeah.
I mean, and I'm not disagreeing with any one of these things. I just want to see the damn thing, and then when I've seen it, then I'll shit on it. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to I don't want to have a pre-dump. You know what I mean? And then
Speaking of
because that's what,
shitting
yeah,
on things,
because
I guess we can talk about this briefly because obviously we know this like happens in the industry, right? And what I mean by this is rewriting, script rewritings, reshooting. Like that happens in every movie. Like your favorite movie, if your favorite movie is Titanic, if it's Django Unchained, whatever, that there has probably been reshoots and rewrites to those scripts over the course of the
funnily
production,
enough,
right?
reshoots. George Lucas invented the term reshoot, and when I say invented it, he invented the term reshoots in a way where it wasn't a bad thing. So, for example, before in the 80s and the 90s, if you heard a film was having reshoots, that film's in trouble.
Yeah.
Okay, and then all of George Lucas's prequel movies, he had reshoots. He had additional reshoot stays because George Lucas wants to do what George Lucas wants to do. He's doing a lot of R&D in the computer animation side of things. He wants to see the cut of the film, and if it doesn't work when he looks at it, he wanted to change a few bits and bobs here. And obviously, there's a fact that sometimes it's a scheduling issue with actors. I'll give you an example of reshoots. You know, Attack of the Clones, where Natalie Portman and Anakin get to Geonosis, and they're in that layer, when they first land, and then they're basically in that thing where it turns into Super Mario with the platforms and the, you know what I mean? Like all of that was all reshoots. That's all reshoots. But yeah, the whole thing, like that wasn't in the script originally. It was like George looked at the movie, he goes, there needs to be some action here. I'm going to create an action set piece. Okay, what's the quickest thing we could do? I don't know whether he's playing Super Mario. That's something I'm added in as Joker Fair, so Star Wars fans don't go nuts. Go, he didn't play Mario, but come on, there's platforms, man. You know what I mean? Like that was all part of the reshoots, and Marvel, Kevin Feige, he's a huge Star Wars fan, and when he decided to do the MCU from Iron Man 1, he was like, you know what, we're gonna have the shoot time, and we're gonna have this other slot here for reshoots, whether we need them or whether we don't, but we're going to put that in the plan so we don't go over budget. Because what would happen on a reshoot back in the day was when you had reshoots, it meant the movie went over budget, and then, you know what I mean? Like, then motherfuckers in trouble. But, you know, nowadays they allocate the reshoots so they don't go over budget. You know what I mean? And that's generally seen as a good thing for production. So, in terms of Obi-Wan, yeah, they went. It wasn't even that they went over production. They didn't. They didn't even leave. The train hadn't left the station. You know what I mean?
But let me just read this quote. Let me just read this quote from Kathleen Kennedy to you, right? And
sure.
See what you think, right? So apparently Obi-Wan was rewritten because obviously it was delayed, right? And in that delay, Obi-Wan was rewritten to be more uplifting. And Kathleen Kennedy, she had this public interview and she talked about it, and she said that originally there was supposed to be a Darth Maul link. Darth Maul was supposed to feature in this, and the whole Obi-Wan series was a lot more darker. So that was why it was delayed, and she wanted it to be rewritten in a way that it would have an uplifting feel by the end, like it would be like a tense affair that would be uplifting for Obi-Wan in the end. Like, what do you think of that? Like, firstly, would you have preferred Darth Maul to be in this?
Well, here's the thing. All right, this is a double sword and a double-edged question. Okay, you have I'd have to talk about what I would have done with an Obi-Wan show first. So it's a longer question.
Let's
go, But do you want to do that first and then?
Yeah, I think because it kind of ties in, right? So she obviously saw that the original script was Darth Maul, dark, Obi-Wan probably loses in the end, right? Like, I'm guessing that was probably the original. Well, maybe he didn't lose, but it was dark enough that it felt like he didn't win, essentially. So yeah.
Well, that's an assumption. That's an assumption that he loses to Darth Maul. That's a huge assumption. Go on. But yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Okay, it's the only reason why it'd be a dark ending has nothing to do with Darth Maul. It has more to do with Darth Vader. And
that's my fault. Yeah.
What that's what I think. That's what I think they meant by that. And that still has to happen. But you've got to leave a ray of hope for the audience, because it wouldn't be Star Wars if you didn't. You know what I mean? I don't know, man. All right. Here's the thing. All right. I'm going to do the short version. I don't want to go into what I would do just yet, because I want to answer this question, because otherwise we're going on a big yarn and shit. But, okay, here's the thing. If you've got 7 episodes for an Obi-Wan show, okay, and you have all of this shit that needs to be in there, and then you have stuff that fans want and, you know, that people think would be cool, well, here's the thing. You have to focus on what needs to be in there, the essentials, okay, for the story. All right? Unfortunately, and people can disagree with me, but you have to hear my whys, and my whys will come later. But Darth Maul would have been the first thing I would have cut if I had 7 episodes. That's not enough, okay? That's not enough to flesh out Maul as a character for the audience that hasn't seen Clone Wars. Okay, so it has to be accessible for everyone. There's so much lore with Maul, you know what I mean? And if you
he does have a lot of in Clone Wars, he has a lot. Yeah,
and if you're gonna have that beef with Kenobi, you have to touch upon Satine. Okay, you have to touch upon Satine, and that would
even
really
I only know about Satine because you sent me that list of all of the Mandalorian related episodes. So you
have to touch upon Satine. You have to involve Bo-Katan as well, which people will be like, why is Bo-Katan in the Kenobi show? Well, there's reason, but the only real reason to bring her in is if Maul's in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's and it would link to Mandalore and stuff like that. So, you know, this is all stuff in Clone Wars, and you know, would it be cool to be put into an Obi-Wan show? Yes, it would be. Ultimately, yes. But not if it's one season. Not if it's a limited season. Hell no. You know what I mean? And you want that stuff to be good and have an arc. You know what I mean? You don't want it to be a cameo or a, oh, remember this, and have it not give payoff. You know what I mean? The reason to do a TV show is to focus on the drama and give payoff. So if they took Maul out, they probably took it out because he wasn't essential for the story they were trying to tell. And when you look at the overall story on what needs to be into an Obi-Wan show, Darth Maul is bottom of the list, because the minute you put him in here, that's a whole season within itself. You know what I mean? Like it's not like one episode. No, it's multiple episodes, dude. And then because of that time period, do you think fans don't want to see have that ultimate question answered? You'd want Maul versus Vader.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Tricky situation. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then obviously that opens up a whole other catalog, bucket of worms there. You know what I mean? Because deep down, people would want to see that match. You know what I mean?
I'd want to see that match.
Of course you would. But you know what? If I was in charge of Obi-Wan, I would give everyone all of this shit. I'd give them all of this shit. I'd be clear cut. Season 1 would be Inquisitors come. No, you know what it'd be? Inquisitors come. No. All right. This is it. All right. Let's. I'm taking over your podcast, man. Sorry. All right. This is what needs to be in it. All right. Let's take Darth Maul aside out of the equation. This is what needs to be in it. Okay. What do we know of that time period? Well, most people would say, "Oh, it's on the desert because, dude, like the circle is now complete. When I last met you, I was but the learner, and now I'm the master." No. When you last saw him, you were sided with Darth Sidious, bro, and you were crying like a bitch on Mustafa. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing. It's like I can see it both ways, right? Like, you can take it that it could mean something else, but you could also take it that he meant that he was a Jedi, but like he was still
yeah, exactly. And what you just said is exactly the point of why there's a series. You know what I mean? Like, it's not that big a line to fixate. The bigger line to fixate is, because that's what everyone will throw at you in the comment section and stuff. They're like, "Oh, it never happened because he was in a desert for like fucking 20 years and like looking after Luke like a fucking stalker, innit?" Like, that's what people really want, apparently. But no, there is a story here, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm older than you. I'm 42, so like before, when the prequels came up, I had my own mind on what I thought they should be. And there's a lot of fans that don't like the prequels for that exact same reason. And then there are fans that kind of, they watch Clone Wars and they're like, you know what, they ain't that bad. You know what I mean? And I'm in that category. Like, I never hated them, but I could see why they weren't as good. But that's another conversation for another time. But when you look at what we thought would happen, okay, for starters, in terms of retcon, originally, Owen Lars was Obi-Wan's brother.
Yeah.
Okay, he was his brother. And then when you get to in one of the drafts of the script, or even like back then in the 80s, that's what we were told. You know what I mean? Through some external media. Someone in the comment section correct me if I'm wrong, but I do remember that when going into the prequels. And then when you get to episode 2, it was like, hang on, he's a stepbrother? Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, that blew my mind. I was like, what? But then the way I saw it, I remember some people getting pissed about that. And then I remember this was ultimately, I was like, well, they didn't make it official OG canon. You know what I mean? It's not like it was a line said in a movie. And this is George Lucas's shit. If George says he's a stepbrother, then George can do whatever the fuck he wants, man. So cool. You know what I mean? Like, and Star Wars fans, you should know when George wants to do whatever the fuck he wants, he does it, man. He did it. You know what I mean? He did it, and that's and you couldn't be mad at him because it's his shit. But now Disney own it, we can be mad all we want.
Yeah, exactly.
But the point being is the drama would have been, I would have loved to have seen Owen Lars and well, this is the thing. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's the stork. He is the stork delivering the baby to the parents that can't have one. You know what I mean? Like Aunt Beru and fucking Uncle Owen, they now have a baby. Why would they be mad at the stork, bro? That's ungrateful bullshit, man.
Exactly.
But therein lies the family drama. Why did they fall out? What went on? Why is he dubbed as a crazy old man? Was he looking after Luke one day and just was a bit negligent and the kid almost died? Who knows? You know what I mean? Who knows?
Yeah.
There's loads of stuff they could go on there with the family drama aspect of the Lars and Kenobi. So that's something that that needs to be addressed. Other thing that needs to be addressed, and this is the biggest thing. Okay, this is why we're getting Vader round 2. Okay,
Yeah.
in Return of the Jedi, okay, I can't kill my own father. He's like, I can't kill my own father, and Obi-Wan's like, look, he's more twisted and evil. I once thought as you did. I'm getting the quotes all wrong, but he turns around to
right.
Luke. Huh?
That's about right.
Yeah.
Right.
Luke's like, I feel the good in him, and he's like, I once felt as you did, but he's now more machine now, twisted and evil. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's the thing. All right. At the end of Revenge of the Sith, he didn't think he could save him. There was no. Hey, it was just like, motherfucker, you're burning to the crisp. You know what I mean? I'm taking your lightsaber, goodbye. You know what I mean? So there must have been another battle. There must have been. And more importantly, like, Vader believes he's dead or could be dead in A New Hope. But in Revenge of the Sith, he sees man walk off with the lightsaber. You know what I mean? There's no way. You know what I mean? If there was a time when they could have disguised it, it would have been then. So I think there is a round 2, and both of these cats need to believe each other are dead.
Yeah.
Or at least or at least Vader should believe Kenobi is dead and gone, kind of thing. That should be the outcome of that match. One should escape, kind of thing, just about, but Vader should believe that he's dead, kind of thing. That's ultimately what should happen. The other thing I want addressed is Luke turns to Leia. Leia, do you remember your mother? She's like, just images, really. When? She died at your childbirth. She died at your birth. So show me a hologram of Queen Amidala or something. You know what I mean? With a
cool.
10-year-old Leia. You know what I mean? So she's like, okay, show me something like that, and they'll be like, okay, that's why. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Solves the problem.
Did people pass it off as just Force visions? I think I've heard that before, because she's obviously Leia's Force sensitives, right? She's Force sensitive, so it could be that she just knows her mum through Force visions and stuff.
Maybe, but when I was coming out my mum's vagina, I remember shit. So
that's true. I don't think I remember anything either.
Yeah, exactly.
It's, like I'm in the section of like I don't mind them doing this, like, and there's nothing in the movie that discredits or confirms that they never met. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
There's only these weird vague hints that you can interpret either way. So my only worry is that I just don't trust Disney to fit it correctly.
Yeah, I agree with that. I totally agree with that sentiment. But there's one more thing. The last thing that needs to be in there. Okay. So the original message from Princess Leia. Okay.
Oh right, yeah.
Years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars. When I've seen every episode of Clone Wars. Bail Organa does not send them on any mission. So that in lies a big thing I want on the list, because we know Hayden Christensen's back, which is great, which is fantastic. Obviously, you don't bring him back if he's not going to show up in a flashback. Okay? You have to have a Clone Wars flashback. You know what I'm saying? This is what I want.
Yeah.
I want a whole episode dedicated to the Clone Wars. One episode of that prequel era, showing them as buddies, showing him as a great pilot, showing actual chemistry with a decent script, okay, and actual acting. That way there's an arc for the character in the show. And
I'm so upset that episodes 2 and 3 had no teamwork between them except for chasing Zam Wessel through Coruscant.
That was
exactly the only
exactly.
time that they had any sort of teamwork, and you could see that obviously Anakin was
Or maybe the start of Revenge of the Sith.
Stuff.
Maybe the start of
Yeah,
Revenge of
I
the Sith.
guess you could count that, but that was like it was what, a 10-minute action sequence, and then that
No,
was
about
it.
20 minutes. About 20 minutes.
Well, but that's the thing. One of
Yeah.
them was knocked out. Like, so obviously with the Dooku fight, like
Yeah.
Obi-Wan knocks himself out in it. So it's like, oh
Yeah.
man, yeah,
But like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we need a whole episode dedicated to that era,
yeah,
and also there should be some flashbacks throughout the series of that era, kind of thing. That isn't just that episode. I just want to see loads of Clone War love, basically.
yeah. I would
And if
love
they could get,
flashbacks of Obi-Wan ignoring like dark side tendencies from Anakin, like during like I don't know, like battles and fights and stuff. Because I
yeah,
know in like the Clone Wars he has like backstabs and stuff like that he does, like Anakin
and
does and
then
stuff.
there's and that would be the perfect place to put an Ashoka cameo, man.
Yeah.
Perfect
Speaking of
place.
Ahsoka cameo, and well, this is
Yeah,
going to tie into like the next thing because we obviously mentioned Leia. So if
yeah.
anyone doesn't know, obviously Leia is rumored to feature heavily in the Obi-Wan show.
Maybe that's the thing. Maybe there's something in the Clone Wars that relates to Leia getting abducted, and he needs to send the only guy he knows who can help him,
Do you
aka
think
Obi-Wan.
do you think Filoni would do that? Like when I say Filoni would do that, do you think Filoni would give this amount of his story work to someone else to do, essentially? Because like he's not writing any of these episodes, is he?
Well, it's got nothing to do with him. This is the concern, man. This is the concern. It's got nothing to do with Favreau Filoni.
Yeah.
Nothing. Deborah Chow. Okay, here's the thing. Credit to Deborah Chow because she's directing all these episodes. She has directed some of the best Mandalorian. Okay, she's done 3 episodes of The Mandalorian, and they've all been stellar. All of them.
Yeah.
She did. She was the one that introduced "This Is the Way."
Oh yeah, of course.
That episode, that third episode where everyone, with the jetpack and
I love the armor. The armor is so cool.
Yeah. But yeah, she give me a sec. Just what were the other episodes? Because she did the Sin. Yeah, so she did Chapter 3, The Sin, Chapter 7, The Reckoning.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah. So the one before.
Yeah,
that was it. The one
last
before
one,
the last episodes. Yeah. They were both sick episodes. Those were 2 of the best episodes, man.
Yeah, they were.
So yeah, she's done those 2 episodes of Mandalorian and then got the Obi-Wan show. Now, the other thing is she wanted rewrites as well to it. So and I don't think that was all on her. But if you're a director directing all 6, maybe you could request that. And whoever I don't know who the showrunner is on Obi-Wan Kenobi. Let's have a look.
Seems to be a mix of people.
That sounds scary.
Yeah.
That does. I'm not gonna lie. That does sound scary.
I seem to see like a mix of different people who I don't know like on it. So yeah.
Okay, so this Joby Harold, he's written 6 episodes, like the main 6 episodes. Okay, and he's done.
Do you think it's his episodes that have been rewritten? Do you think he was like the main writer and then everyone else has probably been brought in to rewrite? Because he's the only one.
And then we've got Hannah Freeman, who's also doing Willow, and she's come in and she's writing episodes 3 and episode 4.
Yeah, it seems to me like the main guy with 6 episodes written, he was probably the original writer, and then like everyone else with like 1 or 2 episodes probably rewritten.
Yeah. Okay, now here's an interesting thing. According to IMDb, it says 4 episodes George Lucas. Now, obviously, George Lucas automatically gets credit saying based on characters created by.
Yeah.
But it's saying 4 episodes.
Yes, it only says 4 episodes. Yeah, that was weird to me.
Surely it should be 6 episodes because Obi-Wan's in all 6.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I thought. Yeah.
So that's a bit of a weird one, but maybe it's a typo on this. I don't think George has anything to do with this. But yeah, hang on. Who else? Produced by Deborah Chow. the writer, the female writer, consulting producer, 6 episodes. Okay. The other writer, 6 episodes. Okay. And then we've got a whole load of other people, and Kathleen Kennedy, which is standard. Yeah, there's no Filoni Favreau team up there, so this is one, like I said before many times, this is one that concerns me. I just hope that Deborah Chow has learnt from the Jedi Masters on her time on the Mandalorian. I want to say, yeah, it's safe because I really did like that trailer, but I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll know when we see it in its entirety.
Yeah, I think it's going to be one of those things, Obi-Wan, where like I think we'll know if it's good quality on the first episode. Like that first episode is so important.
Yeah, totally. But Ewan McGregor looks good. Yep. My only concern is that kind of wish they used CGI a little bit to make him be a hybrid of Alec Guinness, man. Because if this is 10 years, shit, man, you aged. You know what I mean? Like I just think he should have had prosthetics or something to kind of make him look a little bit more like Guinness. I'm not saying like he has to totally lose his Ewan-ness, but
no,
like
I know what you're saying.
It's kind of like with the last X-Men. I don't mind James McAvoy looking like James McAvoy in the 80s, like in Apocalypse.
Yeah.
But when they were like Dark Phoenix is set in the 80s, I'm like, bro, like fucking 2000 is when X-Men came out. Like this guy looks nothing like Patrick Stewart, bro. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. Like, give the guy a chance, man. Just either set in the 80s so I can believe it, or you know what I mean?
It adds to that realism, right?
Yeah.
It is nice to have.
But I am liking his look, and yeah, I like that trailer. I like the trailer. I just wish it was just called Kenobi and not Obi Wan Kenobi. It's like,
I think it was originally just Kenobi, wasn't it? But yeah, it looks like they.
Nah, I wouldn't give him that much credit.
But yeah, so
I'm nitpicking now because the trailer was so good.
Yeah, it's time to be the ultimate nitpick, right? So,
all right.
Well, I guess it's kind of not a nitpick, but I guess we can discuss it, right? So, if Obi-Wan does indeed leave Tatooine to help Leia in any way, whatever, if he goes off planet anyway, would Obi-Wan leave Luke Skywalker undefended? And this is like, because we already know, right, that the Inquisitors in the trailer, one of them anyway, she actually talks to Owen, so they already are in and around Tatooine at this point anyway.
Well, maybe he leaves to get rid of the Inquisitors. Maybe he reveals himself, and they're like, he's the Jedi, and he takes himself off world to lure them out, and then he kills one, and then he's like, okay, Tatooine is safe, but I can't be there because, you know what I mean, Imperials are going there, and he's off world to drive their attention off world. You know what I mean?
That's pretty much what Cow did.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So that's what I think. I don't think it's look, we live in the era of spaceships and shit. I don't think he was on Tatooine the whole time. You know what I mean? Sure, he's watching over him, etc., just in case shit. But what is Owen and Beru Nedge? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are they bad parents? I mean, come on, man. Like they're moisture farmers. You know what I mean?
You think that there's no problem for you don't think there's a problem if Obi-Wan leaves?
No, I think people are looking way too much into that, because then it's like that you're limiting yourself by keeping it on Tatooine the whole time.
Oh yeah, you know what I mean? You've got to get off Tatooine now.
Yeah, you've got to get him off the dusty fucking hole and into the action, but you have to make sure the story makes sense. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a Jedi comes looking for Kenobi and he brings the heat. You know what I mean? Maybe he brings the heat, and then they're like, "Where's this fucking Jedi?" You know what I mean? And then they have to get that Jedi off the planet,
It
kind of
does
thing.
seem an easy tie-in for Ahsoka. it
Yeah,
really
yeah.
does.
There you go. Or maybe it's a new Jedi entirely. You know,
Mm.
because we don't know how many of them are hiding and how many are executed. I expect to see lots of Jedi getting fucking fucked in this show,
Yeah,
though.
yeah,
I
yeah, for
want to see
sure.
that. I want to see concentration camps. I want to see all kinds of shit. I want to see shit like that
Yeah,
because
that'd be quality.
that's what you could bring to this show by taking it off world. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But it depends what they do. Again, another thing I'd like if they do the Clone Wars flashback. Come on, man, give us some Clone Wars love. I want to see Obi Wan in that fucking armor
yeah,
from the cartoon
yeah,
because
yeah. That'd be
because
sick.
when you look at Obi Wan's armor and you look at Anakin's armor, it kind of reminiscence to Darth Vader's chest plate,
Yeah, yeah, it does. Yeah,
like both of them. And I always thought that was cool. I just want to see that live action, man. But
I would love to see
I
him
don't
in
think.
his Clone Wars attire. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I don't know whether we'll get it, but we'll see. But
I'm pretty sure we won't get it,
yeah,
unfortunately.
we won't.
But yeah, it'd
I'm
be
asking
cool.
too much, man. I'm asking too much. I mean, like, I get why Maul was cut. I get why they trying to make it hopeful. I don't see that script thing being a bad thing because like,
I would
look,
really
Empire.
like to see that Maul script. I really would like to
Yeah,
see it.
and we probably will. The internet's there. It's probably not leaked yet, but when the thing comes out, it'll be
Yeah, I'm
online.
sure it'll be leaked
Um,
soon. Yeah.
it's like this. Remember this? Like original Star Wars had like 7 different scripts before we got the script that we got. Okay, Empire Strikes Back had 3 different scripts before we got what we got. You
Mm.
know, Jedi had 2. And trust me, that finale and the previous draft is very different.
Yeah.
Very different. Um, and it's the same. It's the same with everything, man. That's how TV shows and stuff are made. So I don't get why people are like, oh, it could have been darker. It's like, cool, but would it have been good?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
There's a reason why they do that kind of thing. And I get there's a lot of mistrust with Kathleen Kennedy. You know what I mean? But usually it's up to the showrunners that decide that. And she's just an executive producer. She's not the showrunner. You know what I mean? That's down to the showrunners.
Yeah.
Kathleen Kennedy, an executive producer is someone that deals with the money. You know what I mean?
Pretty
That
much.
is it. That is
Yeah.
it. That's all they do. And occasionally they'll make some big decisions. You know what I mean? Occasionally. But the thing is, her tenure at Lucasfilm has not really been at executive producer level. She's running a studio.
Yeah.
And her job as an executive producer, she has a track record of being the GOAT
Yeah.
in the business. Okay. And when you got to look at that, does her projects come in on time and on budget? Generally, yes, they do.
Yeah.
And sure, with Star Wars, there's been behind the scene problems with this, and that. But there's behind the scenes shit with any other movie. You know what I mean? With a lot
That
of
is
other
true.
movies. Just a lot of stuff people don't even hear of. You know what I mean? Because they're not the big IP.
And it could
Jaws.
be. Yeah, Jaws. Yeah,
Jaws, the biggest shambles of Jaws. Jaws was a movie that was saved in the editing room.
Mm.
That is a famous story. That is a famous Hollywood story. Like Jaws. Jaws was a piece of shit film, saved in the edit. Saved in the edit. And Spielberg's talked about it. She's talked about it. It's on the DVD. It's on the Blu-ray. Check it out. You know what I mean? That film was saved in the edit. The 2 things that saved it, the edit and John Williams' theme.
Yeah.
Okay? So, I want to be hopeful, but, I think my problem with the whole thing, it's not Kennedy, it's Disney under
Yeah.
Chapek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's always been Disney. It's always been Disney. She's working for them, which means she has quotas. She sees it as a job rather than, hey, this is a legacy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the thing. Mandalorian worked because nobody cared about TV. The higher ups didn't care. They're like, well, Jon Favreau's a respected director and he's generally got shit. Have you got shit, John? Yeah. And they made 2 stellar, you know what I mean? 2 stellar seasons. When it came to Boba Fett, there was, people wanted to micromanage that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Disney kind of stepped in there a little bit. So, and obviously John Favreau and Dave Filoni, their concern is Mando season 3
Yeah.
and Mando season 3 only, because they need to make sure that shit is consistent.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
literally, yeah.
So they can't be at like 10 places at once, man. And like, it's, you know, I mean, it's no wonder they're not involved in this because, you know, I mean, personally, I think Favreau, not Favreau, Filoni definitely should have been involved because
I
of
think he should have,
Clone
yeah.
Wars. Yeah.
Do you know what? My big worry as well is that
Yeah.
because Filoni, like especially Filoni, isn't attached to anything about this, that this might not be implanted into the Filoni verse that he's making of like connecting, like, you know,
Yeah.
different Star Wars characters. And I really hope that that's not the case, but
Yeah.
it feels like it might be the case.
Well, I say that, but we got Inquisitors, which says no, actually it is. Do you see
That's
what
true.
I mean?
Yeah, that's
Because
a fair
like
point.
I didn't think we'd get that. I didn't
Yeah.
think we'd get that. So I'm what's it? Cautiously optimistic, as in that trailer was good. That's all I need to see. I just need to see the show. But I'm optimistic, but cautious. You know, cautious about how it's going to play out, kind of thing. So that's my thoughts on Kenobi. But
I guess
what
we
I
can
do with
one
yeah,
more
go on.
question. I guess. Well, let's. What were you going to say anyway?
What's
Yeah,
the
I have
question?
one more
What's the
final
question?
question. Well, yes. What do you think goes down Obi-Wan versus Anakin? Like, how do you see that playing out here? Do you like? Because obviously, some people say it's going to be a full force battle in mind, where they're not actually in the same place. Other people think, yeah, it's going to be on Mustafar. It's going to be on like Kamino, or like how do you think that like the fight in general is going to play out?
I haven't thought about it at all. Just show me the fight, man. Just show me the
Yeah.
fight. I don't want to. I don't want to. I don't want to go in there with pre-expectations because that will dilute whatever they give me. Because my imagination is a lot bigger than theirs. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And the more, if I think about it, I've already thought about it too much. You know what I mean? I thought about it way too much. Do these guys want to hear how I think this should have went down, or shall I just keep that to myself? Or
do it. How would it go down?
all right, so if I was in charge of the shit, yeah, it'd be 3 seasons. It would literally be 3 seasons. First season would be, you know, what's it? Jimmy Smits, Bail Organa. He's just gonna be like, "Yo, need your help." It's about that shit in Clone Wars. You know what I mean? So obviously there would have been a mission in the Clone Wars that he sent him on, and maybe this thing has something to do with that, whatever, which takes him off world, kind of thing. While he's on Tatooine, you have that Owen drama or whatever, or we see the relationship, you know, between them. Maybe it's not the Owen drama. Maybe it's something building up to the Owen drama. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. But you know, that's into play in season 1, kind of thing. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they're friends. Maybe they're friends, and he's done a good job. He's looked out for the kid. Everything's fine. But he's called out back into service, okay, for whatever reason. Or maybe an Inquisitor comes, because this is the thing. They're the reason. They're the bads. They're the big bads in the first seasons, okay? Vader doesn't know any of this, okay? He's not in it until the very end, or maybe like here and there. But you'll get flashbacks to the Clone Wars with Obi-Wan suffering from PTSD from the Clone Wars. Obviously, he's isolated. He's upset about Anakin. He's upset about the loss of Satine, yeah, her, and all of that shit. You know what I mean? And maybe he's out in Mos Eisley getting drunk. You know what I mean? Who knows? Maybe that's what he's doing. He's called back in service. He's got to leave. And maybe a Jedi comes to Tatooine and has brought the Inquisitors. Maybe he's brought the Inquisitors and he's got to take them out. Either way, he leaves. You know what I mean? He leaves. Inquisitors are there. They've spotted Kenobi. Vader's interested. He's like, "Yo, bring me his head." And it's literally him trying to get rid of Inquisitors and sort out this quest for Bail Organa without dipping Bail's good name in it to the Senate, because obviously back then he's part of the Senate, so whatever moves he makes is very incognito. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
kind of thing. and you've got all of that, and then also you got to show him meditating with the Force, where you have like Qui-Gon show up, because Qui-Gon has to show up, because at the end of Revenge of the Sith, he's like, you got to do this training.
Yeah.
Well, you need to see that throughout the series, kind of thing. And then end of season 1, he murks an Inquisitor or a group of Inquisitors or whatnot. Do you know what I mean? And then it's literally Vader's like, I'll deal with this myself, innit? Kind of thing. Season 2, basically, the fugitive that is Obi Wan Kenobi is literally out there in the galaxy, which awakens Maul, basically. And Maul's like, Kenobi, and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna take him down, and I'm gonna take that bitch Vader down, in it. And literally, more adventures and shit and stuff. And obviously he's not on Tatooine anymore, so he's trying to avoid going there because he doesn't want to bring shit to the Lars's yard, in it. So obviously you've got fucking Darth Maul, and hell, maybe shit goes down on Tatooine. I don't know. And that's when the breakup between Lars and Kenobi happens. You know what I mean? Because you've got multiple episodes. But either way, the whole point of that season, the second season, is more showing audiences that haven't seen the Clone Wars. Yeah, Maul's still about, Maul's backstory. Show like his deal with the Emperor and Savage. You know what I mean? Or mention it in some kind of way. You know what I mean? And he's literally hunting down Kenobi, but so's the Inquisitors and Vader. You know what I mean? Leads to an end battle between Kenobi. Maybe we could have a battle with Maul versus Inquisitors. Give me a battle with Maul, Vader, and Kenobi, where Vader and fucking Obi-Wan have to work together to take down Maul. And a spaghetti, in a spaghetti western kind of standoff kind of way. Do you see where the imagination goes when you bring Maul into the equation, and why he needs to be taken out ultimately? Because it just, the minute that chess piece is in there, there's so much stuff you could do. But that's why I say it needs to be like 3 seasons. You know what I mean? Because of Maul, and then at the end of all of that bullshit kind of thing, ultimately the end finale is Maul versus Kenobi on that planet that he's left on in Rebels.
Oh, okay.
And then basically the whole idea with that is Kenobi leaves his ass on that planet alone, and that ties into Rebels, because obviously what's the first thing he does when he gets off that planet?
Yeah, he's looking for revenge.
He's looking for revenge. He's like, fuck. He's like,
I guess getting this guy. Maybe that's what they were thinking of all along.
Maybe, but I don't think so. I wouldn't give them that credit.
You can't trust Disney with that shit.
Nah, I'm not giving them that credit. But that's what I would have done with Maul, kind of thing. And then season 3, it's quite literally Vader. You know what I mean? Building up to that end fight, kind of thing. And at the end of that fight, Vader believes Kenobi's dead. Do you know what I mean? But then Kenobi gets away, etc., and then he's just on Tatooine doing his crazy Ben shit, innit? So, and mission is over, or whatever. Do you know what I mean? But if you did 3 seasons, you could expand, you could do so much. But that's if you trust them with this season. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, exactly, exactly.
It's like I don't trust them. You know what I mean? Sure, they already. So
I'm sure if this season's good, I'm sure I'll want a season 2. But Ewan McGregor, his acting schedule, and other people, like, I don't know what Hayden's doing anymore. But
it's not even
Hayden's
that. It's
free,
like,
but...
well, it's not even that. It's like they're clearly going to end this with the duel. You know what I mean? And once you've done that duel, you can't go back.
No.
But then it depends what. But then again, it depends what they've written.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It all depends on what they have actually written and what they're actually doing. So, I don't know, man. But I don't know. What did you think of my idea? It wasn't really much of an idea, but
I think it's a good idea, actually. Like, it ties things from the Clone Wars. It obviously gives more live action screen time, because like everything after episode 1 has been in like other media. So, like getting live action more back would be great. Having Anakin and Obi-Wan teaming up in a Jedi Sith like team up is like, it just sounds like an awesome idea that like you you just know Disney are never going to do something like that. But like,
Nah.
I would prefer that
If
to
it was
them.
if it
I
was
would
Dave
actually prefer
Filoni,
that to them fighting.
yeah.
I would literally
It,
prefer them teaming up than them fighting.
See, if it was Dave Filoni, I'm pretty sure he would have had that on the drawing board,
Yeah.
kind of thing, because like that guy gets it. But yeah, I don't know, man. We'll have to see. Look, they've taken Maul out the equation. I didn't expect them to put Maul in anyway. And again, if it's only 7 episodes, I would not have Maul in it. Period.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, you put Maul in there, it just opens up more shit. You know what I mean? And none of that shit really adds to the key essentials, which is the match between those two, their relationship, Owen and Kenobi,
Yeah.
why they don't like each other. That's the real story. So
I
you know
do
what I mean?
hope as
More,
well that
huh?
I do hope as well that essentially they don't overuse Darth Vader, because in Fallen Order
Yeah,
it was really nice to like I didn't actually I like thinking about it, like it was obvious that Darth Vader would always show up in Fallen Order because that's just how
yeah,
the Empire works, but I didn't even expect that to happen when it did. Like, and
yeah,
that's what happened. That is, it's great when you don't underuse someone like Darth Vader because he is so menacing that like
yeah.
just
Because when he does show up,
yeah,
it's more of a threat.
yeah, yeah.
It's more of a
You
threat, and
know someone's
it's
gonna
more
get hurt when
meaningful.
he shows up,
Yeah,
like
exactly.
especially in that
So
timeline as well. Like yeah, so
that's why I think the Inquisitors should really lead most of the show,
yeah,
kind of thing. We should get Anakin in flashbacks, and then maybe hints of Vader's birth. Maybe show him burning up in
yeah,
flashbacks. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like a reoccurring nightmare and shit. And like, but do you see what I mean? Us talking about this shit, we've got a preemptive.
yeah,
You know what I mean? We've got a preemptive on what this should be, and automatically we've doomed this to failure within our own head canon, which, funnily enough, is ultimately what a Star Wars fans do.
yeah. But that's the thing. I didn't understand that because
Yeah,
obviously, like Star Wars episodes 1 to 3 were the
yeah,
main films that I got in. But now, yeah, I can definitely understand that. Like when you
yeah,
have so much lore built up like around the trilogy, and it has
yeah,
so much extended universe and stuff like that, like the original trilogy had, to then like
yeah,
for like so many things to be changed or retconned. Like they weren't being retconned, but like those Star Wars novelizations, like the expanded universe and
yeah.
stuff, they were all canon. So yeah, like if they were changed, like a lot of stuff was changed from
Like I
episodes
think
one to three.
the biggest thing was like George Lucas was like Luke would never go to the dark side ever.
Mm,
And it's like that's his stance on Luke Skywalker, because
yeah,
Vader is one side of the coin. Luke
yeah,
Skywalker's representation is hope.
yeah,
And one of the best stories is Star Wars Dark Empire. As
yeah.
much as I like Dark Empire, it's inconsistent to what Lucas or how Lucas sees the character. And you know, I think they did it. I think they did Palpatine's return a lot better in there compared to
Mm.
Rise of Skywalker. But
And that's
that's
the
just
thing
me.
is Luke's dark side, like Luke's temptation to the dark side in Dark Empire is really interesting though, because it's implied that he did it on purpose, like that
Yeah,
he knew
to
that he
find
had to do
out.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, to find out more
yeah,
about why his father did what he did. But
yeah,
at the same time, it's like, bro, like Yoda and Obi-Wan told you, don't go there,
yeah,
don't go there, bitch.
yeah, yeah,
I tell you what, though, I liked the addition of the rocket hand. You know when he has that hand and
yeah.
he shoots it at Han and chokes him. You know, I'm like, boy, could you imagine a fight scene with the rocket hand like Metal Gear 5, where he's
Yeah.
just like,
That would be
oh god,
quality. That'd be quality.
yeah.
But yeah,
Anyway, yeah.
I guess that's wrapped up everything. We've gone through the whole of all that we know from Obi-Wan for now,
Mm.
and 25th of May is when it drops on Disney Plus. So yeah, I mean, we'll definitely have to, once the season's finished, do another roundup and talk about if we liked it or not, and yeah, like how the series in general went. Do you have any closing statements to talk about?
Not really, man, not really.
What about your old ant stream?
Oh yeah, so I work for a company called Antstream. We're a retro gaming streaming service. Check us out on www.antstream.com if you like old school retro video games from the 70s all the way to the 90s. That's where you can get your fix, from old arcade games to SNES games, Mega Drive games, uh,
Super Star
main
Wars is
ROMs
on there as
games.
well, you know.
Super Star Wars trilogy is now on AppStream
Hey,
with extra content that's never been
nice.
there before. We've got loads of little challenges on those games, so be sure to check them out and check the extra content that's brand new to it. And I might have had a hand in creating it. So yeah,
Hey, shit, I'm gonna download that now, man.
yeah,
Super Star Wars trilogy. Shit, I thought there was
yeah.
only one.
No, all three of them are there.
Nice.
Return of the Jedi has the most amount of challenges. It has like 5 challenges. I think Star Wars has 5 as well, and Empire has 2 at the moment for the
Mm.
public, but there will be more later on. I think we're gonna wait for more Star Warsy kind of stuff to
Yeah,
promote the service with. So
that's sick, man. Yeah, guys, be sure to go and check that out. Be sure. But yeah, so yeah, this has been great. It's been a great talk. As always, Zedos gangs, Sacha Allari, also of Amstream, here with me once again. It's been Congru, and you've been listening to the Crylo channel. And I'll see you next time, guys. Peace.